Um, Today we are going to discuss what are the tips to create a good presentation. Previously we discussed these things. If I give you a short remind what we have discussed, excellence in oral presentation for technical speakers. So we discussed what are the good qualities of oral communication and what are the objective of oral communication, and what are the mites and mistakes of technical presentation which we usually do, and how to plan the presentation. We already discussed those things. Yeah. Then now we are in the stage of opening and closing a presentation, and what and how. So we discussed earlier, there are three parts in every academic work, and only not only in the academic field, in every professional thing. So when we are delivering something, we should have some subject what we are going to present. So in one way, it will create us a good awareness what we are going to do. In the other way, the listeners, if not the audience, will have a clear idea what they are going to take. Okay, then introduction, body, and the conclusion. So at the very beginning, we should introduce what we are going to tell. Then they will realize what is the background they are going to hear. Then the body that compiles with the content which we should deliver. Then find the conclusion. At the end, we should summarize what we have told them. Then they also will get a feedback what they heard, and we also can give a brief idea what we told to them. It's a good quality. We should summarize in every academic work in your life or in any other work. You should summarize at the end. Then it will make more awareness in the audience. Okay, then the opening. The opening is also somewhat important because we need to drag our audience into our presentation, the audience attention, so that they will want to hear what you have to say. Should be a grabber or attention seeker. Not only arouse interest, but also suggests them of a speech. Opening can be dramatic, emotional, harmless, or rhetorical. Then you can make your way to do that beginning. So if I express my experiences, then some presentation have started with a music. Then if not, they are creating a video clip with relevant to their topic. Then we are motivated to hear that speech. So likewise, we can do it in our way creatively. Opening does not have towards, you can use gesture, demonstration, silent related to the topic. Then good opening of a presentation, or a presentation or whatever thing, it should have these things. A startling question. You can ask some question to have an idea what is the situation of your audience. Then they may have a good knowledge, otherwise they will have not an awareness. Then sometimes if you presenting the things they know, that will be boring. So you can skip that part by having and understand about what is the level of your audience. So you can start at the point which they know. Then you can provide a platform for your presentation. So we don't need to repeat again and again the things they know. So you can make a arrangement for your presentation. Challenge in a statement. You can give them a challenge. You can challenge yourself. You can challenge themselves. Likewise, you can make a challenge. Then you can state that at the end, I will ask some questions. So they know they have a challenge. So in the most probably in the academic body, you can ask some questions. Then suppose that you are presenting your final year dissertation, then you can say at the beginning, then I will ask some question at the end, then we can identify how many of you listened to my presentation. Likewise, appropriate short quotation or illustration. So you can do some short quotation or illustrations about the relevant point. Surprising generalization. You can do something like that because some examples are most related to our lives. So you can do something surprising. Exhibit objective, article, pictures. You can exhibit those things. And the personal story. Some biographies and some stories are so interesting. So you can state something like that to make the interest of your audience to your presentation. Now we are going to learn what are the poor opening qualities. Long or slow moving quotations. So if it is a too long and too slow things, then the audience will feel boring. Self-introduction. So if you are introducing yourself more and more, then they will think that you are admiring yourself. So why do we hear into this kind of admiring? They will sometime they will feel so. Apologistic statement. So apologizing is not good to everywhere. So in some cases we can use, but every time if we hear into the apologies, then we will feel something bad. Story, joke, or anecdote which does not connect to the thing. So if you use unrelevant thing, then the audience will be confused. What they are going to tell? We can't imagine anything. They are using examples in someone else and they speak someone else. Then what is the relation in between those two? Likewise, they will feel somewhat confused. Stale remark and statement of your objective. So you can see some remarks. Then some remarks are not relevant to something. A statement of your objective. Then the statement of your objective was poor. Then what is the relation between conclusion and objective? You should address your objective at the end. You should be successful your objective at the end. So if you state your objective at the beginning well, then at the end you should clarify it well. Then suppose you are stating your objective very poorly. You did not construct your objective well. So in that case, you are failing to achieve your objectives. Closing of presentation. Accent your speech objectives. Leave the audience with something to remember. So you can end your story by giving something to remember for the audience. As an example, normally when I'm doing some motivational speech, I am giving them a story or some video clip at the end. Then they will realize what they have discussed so far, and at the end they are having a happy mood by hearing that kind of motivational speech, because they are sometimes they may feel something boring by hearing to my voice through an hour or 2 hours. Then after at the end I'm making some changes, then that may be really happy. Closing is the whip tracker, the clincher, ultimate, the result gather. Closing can be dramatic, emotional, harmless, and rhetorical. Closing does not have to have words. You can use props, gestures, demonstration, or silent. Closing must tie with your opening and your theme. So the closing also should be relevant to the opening and the theme of your presentation and the thing you are going to tell. Poor closing can seriously detract from an otherwise excellent presentation. So these qualities you should ignore. Good closing. What are the qualities of good closing? Call or an appeal for definite action, appropriate short quotation or illustrations, exhibit an objective article, picture, personal challenge. So these things are good qualities. So um, then personal challenge. You should state a challenge at the very beginning. So if you completed that challenge, if you make your audience able to win that challenge, that is the willingness of your presentation. Because at the end, they have something. Now they have challenged themselves, and at the end, they can win that challenge. So in that case, you can feel you are perfect in your presentation. And the poor closing. Commonplace statement delivered in a commonplace where apologistic statement, still remarks, solicitations of questions. So these are the poor qualities. Bad body, body presentation strategy. So these are some qualities of body of the presentation. Decide on what sort of message you will deliver. So we need to sort our message, what we are going to deliver. Deductive strategy. Speaker immediately present the main idea, provide the supporting details, then recap her main idea. Usually used to present good news or route in a statement. So in the way of presenting, we are having some strategies. So in the deductive strategy, what we are going to do, we immediately state what we are going to do. Just at the very beginning, we immediately present the main idea of the presentation. Then we give some more details and will recap the main idea during the presentation. Then as an example, you can hear main idea. My grant proposal was funded. Detail. This means more money for researcher. Recap. Hard work is rewarded. So you can state these kind of main ideas directly and immediately. Then then we should identify what are the places we do these kind of approaches. Usually we use these kind of approaches for the good newses or routing the statement. So these are the places we use that deductive strategy. Then the inductive strategy. Okay, I think you are familiar with these deductive and inductive terms because we learned these two under the research methodology. So these terms are not new to you, but anyway, you should understand what that mean by in the active and effective presenting strategy. The speaker begins only by hinting at the main idea. So at the very beginning, they are giving only a hint, not in the deductive process, they directly say what the main idea, but in inductive process, they are giving a hint, not giving a main idea directly. Then presenters detail leading to the main idea. Usually, from most easily acceptable details to more controversial details. After details, the main idea is communicated. After the details, then first they are giving a hint, then they provide some details. At the end, they communicate the main idea. The speaker conclude with recap. So, but anyway, the conclusion giving a recap. So there is an example. We compliment your research effort and you would like to explain some recent event. So, and the main idea of that is the hint. The main idea, although it was a good effort, we must pull the finding from this line of research. So the recap, you will need to switch directions of research. So these are the points we can gather. Formulas for speech presentation. So we can imitate some formulas. So this is one of famous one, OIBCC. Then what to stand for O? It's opening. Next one is the introduction. B is the body. C is conclusion and the close. So basic formula. It is the OIBCC approach of doing a good presentation. So at the opening, you can grab attention. In the introduction, why bring this topic up? The body, bulk of presentation. Remember that for every important point, you that you make, you must provide support of this. Support can take a form of statistic, analogy, testimony, illustration, or specific exam. Then the conclusion. Summarize briefly points. Then the close. Last strong sentences that leave the audience with something to remember. So always try to give something to remember and always try to summarize what you are told there. Must tie to your main idea and should tie to your opening to be effective. Okay. Harvard School formula is another formula to deliver in a good oral presentation. PREFI. PREFI means P, point of view, R is stand for reason, E stand for example or evidence, P again represent point of view, restarted, and Y you are oriented. Then let's see what are those in detail. In the first P, point of view, I am illustrated it as it along with an example. Smoking is hazardous for your life. Reasons: smoking causes cancer. Examples: 50,000 people die per year from cancer. Point of view to restart: if you want a long full life, give up cigarettes. You are oriented, take the first step tonight and sign up of no more smoking seminar. Okay. Visual assistant. Then it is also somewhat important point. Then the studies show that people store and access information in three primary ways: visually, auditorically, and kinesthetically. So these three steps are important when we are delivering something to audience. Then adult absorb, retain the learn, 10% what they read, 20% what they hear, 30% what they read and hear, 50% what they hear and see, 90% what they do. So this is the stage and this is the percentage of absorbing doing a study. So reading they observe 10%, hearing they can observe 20%, and by doing these both together they can obtain 30%. They can obtain 50% and hearing and see. So that's why we are in an important stage of making visual aids. Visual medium, how? Visual supports the speech. They are not the primary message. Visuals are only used to dramatize and clarify the message. Practice your main points of presentation without relying on visuals. Visuals should assist you in controlling pace of presentation, flow of information. Important thing is when you transit from one visual to the next, introduce the topic area of the next visual before it revolved. Yeah. These are some tips to create a good visuals. 14 lines per visual maximum. Do not put too much information within a single visual. A title is each visual. So we can add a title. The title must be a meaningful one. Simple, readable labels. So we can add some labels which are easily readable. Then labels on chart drafts should be specific and precise. Label must be meaningful yet simple. Readable from the rear. Font size at least should be 20 points. If we use somewhat less than that size, it is somewhat harder to read. Then no more than 3-5 major points. Each point must be easily identified. Use highlights, colors, bullets, different text sizes. So by looking just this slide, you can realize these all qualities. This slide is comprised with these all qualities. Consistency is a must. When you are doing a good presentation, consistency of colors, font size, and all appearance should be agreed with the consistency. Use colors appropriately. Never use the color red for your main text, title or label. Red color is difficult to read from distance. Use red as a highlight color indicating problem area. So I am highlighting by using red color because I need to deliver that point to you as the highlights of the topic. Use green as a highlight color. Two of the most common and readable colors are blue and black. Blue color is most smoothing color on the eye. So these are some tips you can take it in your mind. Visuals must be organized. Your visuals must have introduction, body, and closing. Presentation delivery. Who and how and what. Albert Mehrabian, a well-known communication theorist, specifies the message impact can be delivered in three factors: the body language, tone of voice, and actual words. So the body language contributes 55% toward message impact. Tone of voice. So we should maintain the tone. So when you hear for the speech of politician, that tone is somewhat different because they are addressing for a large audience. But in some other cases, in our lectures, we are addressing for the small group. So we do not use a tone like the politicians. And actual words contribute 7% toward message impact. Time control. Then when you are doing a presentation, time is somewhat important things to consider. 5-minute presentation for the research on the way to train stage in the evaluator. 15 minutes presentation of your research in conferences. 45 to 50-minute presentation on your research in job talk, interview talk, and keynote. 55 to 100-minute presentation of your research is in classroom. So be in control of time. You may lose audience otherwise. So if you are exceeding your time, that will feel boring. Then place. Small conference room, big audience, big and long conference room. So you should understand what is the audience you are going to speak. Then you should understand to whom you are going to speak. Then you should understand who are your audience, the background, age, hobby, and what are their interests. And when you are in a research conference, you know your audience is already some persons who relate with the research. Then when you are going to speak about some sociology student, you know they are interested in sociology. When I am delivering this for the economics student, I know that you are interested in economics. So it is useless of speaking history in front of you. It's Sinhala in front of you. So I know I should talk what are the things important for you. Okay, this is the summary. Pay attention to the oral communication in every technical communication. Giving presentation is not the only oral communication. Asking good question is also oral and memorable communication. Be sincere, interested, enthusiastic, warm and friendly. Be yourself. Ultimate goals: be effective communicator in every situation. What questions connected to oral communication? What if people work out in the middle of my talk? What if I don't know the answer to the question? What if I make mistake during presentation? What if I forget a detail in my presentation? So before going for a good communication or good presentation or good oral activity, just ask these 3-4 questions in yourself. Then otherwise, that will create a good communicator in yourself. So this is the end of today's lecture. Have a good day.